Hello and welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be giving a full tutorial and walkthrough of all of the features of the brand new Flex plugin in FL Studio. It's a stock and free plugin that will be in all versions of FL Studio 20.2, Fruity Edition and up. So not the demo, but every other edition. It's being released officially in 20.2, so if it's not in your version yet, which it will be very soon, check the notes in the description. It will show you how to get your hands on a copy early so that you can start testing it out and messing around with it. So as usual, I'm going to go into all the features, but I'm just going to start with some of the sounds. And I really think that this plugin is going to be an absolutely fundamental part of FL Studio moving forward. It is a really big step up and it is a really huge development for the company. So I want to thank them for that, but let's get right into the video. The core principle of this plugin is that while it's quite an advanced synthesizer, it's designed so that you have packs full of really, really good sounding presets already. All the presets are supposed to be very usable, very professional sounding. They load up sounding good, and then you can analyze them, tweak them, change all the parameters to your liking. So you're not going to design sounds completely from scratch. It's designed to work, a little bit like Nexus, where you load up a good preset and then you tweak it a bit until you get it sounding the way you want. So I'm going to start by showing you just a couple of the presets, and then we'll dive right in. I'll start with a bass preset with some drums layered underneath it. But it's not just for basses. Let's try a pad this time. So loads of really nice sounds, and there's also incredible strings in here. So I'm going to play some staccato strings, then I'm going to layer some cello underneath it as well. So those were only 4 of the presets, and there are loads and loads of free presets, and you can also expand it with more free banks and more paid for banks, which will be coming soon. So let's just go all the way back to basics. How do you load this? So it's an instrument plugin, which means you load it onto the channel rack. So you just press the plus button here, and it will be in your list here. And if it's not, just click on more plugins, search for Flex, and it will show up right there. So double click, and it loads up. I always like to start with a bit of familiarization. So of course you can drag the plugin wherever you want. You can resize from the bottom corner. You can see that all the plugin sort of dynamically changes in size. I'm just going to leave it like this. And then you can also press these arrows at the sides here to close the parameters so that you're just browsing presets, or you can close the presets and save your screen space so that you only see the synthesizer. There's a few more cool options as well. In this analysis window, if you double click it, it will change the theme of the plugin. See how the colors are changing and the dials are changing? It's just an extra little touch that I think is really cool. It's nice that they added that in. You can also access the themes by going to the Flex logo at the bottom, left clicking, and then theme, and you can choose between the 4 themes. I imagine there'll probably be some more added soon. There's also a button to show the panel locks, which I will go into in more detail in a moment. So let's start loading up some sounds. There's loads of ways to find presets. So you can go to the installed packs and you can pick what you think you want here. So if you want strings, you can go to strings and then select something. Or you can go to tags and you can actually select a type. So say for instance, I'm looking for pluck and I want it to be basic, and I'm going to search in all of the folders. Let's just click on this one, the second one here. I have a keyboard in front of me, so that's what I'm going to be playing on. I would say that sounds like a basic pluck. Or say, for instance, you were looking for a lead and a bright lead. Let's just pick this one here. So it's loaded up. Sounds like a pretty bright lead to me. I've just gone back to this strings preset because I really like it. This staccato strings. So there really are loads here. I could give you sound demos all day, but my opinion is that at least half of the presets I would throw straight into one of my productions, and the other half probably still sound great, but they're not suitable for my genre of music. The only thing, my criticism is that the pianos sort of the real pianos didn't really sound that awesome, I think, but they're probably just working on those. The key sounds are still great. Now that I've found a preset that I like, there's a couple of things I can do. I can favorite it just by pressing this star here. Then it will be added to my favorites list so that I can find it in the future. And now I'm just going to close this preset tab by pressing this button here, and I'm only going to be working with the main synthesizer here. I'm just going to resize it to fit the window perfectly. So let's break down all of these little panels and what they do. The first one at the top is analysis. So if I am playing a chord, you can see that it gives me some visual feedback, and there's different display modes which can display the frequencies, the stereo separation, or the tonal balance, with the lows on the right, highs on the left. So that's quite nice. You can just pick an analysis mode that works for you. The next panel are the macros, and these shape the sounds in a really simple way. You don't have to learn any sound design or dive into it. You know, narrow, it's going to make this chord more narrow. So wide, more narrow. Tone, maybe fuller and then more thin. Darken. And now that we're adjusting some controls, you can link these really easily either to automation clips or controllers. So just right click on anything and you can either select create automation clip, which will add an automation clip to the playlist, just like that. And then you can adjust it over time. You can see that it was moving. Or you can right click and you can link it to a controller, press that button, move the fader or the dial on your controller, and it will be automatically linked. Now these macros are relatively broad controls. You don't have a huge amount of detail or control over them, but sometimes that's all you need. For more fine control, we use all of these other windows underneath. So pitch makes perfect sense. If I just play a C, higher pitch, lower pitch. What I actually like about this is they have a plus and minus button that moves it by 100 cent at a time. That is just so useful because I'm really tired of scrolling up on these and trying to make it land on a perfect value. So if you press the plus, takes it up one semitone at a time. I've just quickly changed back to the bass patch to show you this filter and the filter envelope. These two are very closely linked. So the cutoff here determines the cutoff of the filter, so you've got low and high, like a brighter or a darker sound. And then the envelope here really controls the shape of this sound. So say I take the attack all the way to the start, this is going to cut up like very quickly. It's bright right away. But if I adjust the attack and push it further over, it's going to be a bit of a sweep up. So the filter is going to open up as the sound progresses. So the high end wasn't there right away, but it swept in. Adjust the envelope amount and the resonance to really sort of fine tune that sound. So if I have more resonance, it's going to sound a little bit more like, you know, kind of like that modular synthesis sound. And if I lower it, we get a much more smooth filter. This filter envelope, which I was just talking about, attack, hold, decay, sustain, release. I'm not going to explain all of these in fine detail. That's more of sort of a basic sound design principle. I'll put some information in the description about that. And then the volume envelope's a little bit easier to explain here. If I have the volume envelope all the way here, the sound's going to jump in very quickly. If I push it to this side, it fades up. And as well as adjusting the attack, you can adjust the hold, the decay, the sustain, and the release. So if I were to adjust the release and make it very quick, it's going to cut away very quickly after I release the key. Versus a really slow decay that takes a very long time to decay away. I'm just going back to that strings plugin. So if I go down to the master filter at the bottom, this is similar to this filter here, but it doesn't change over time. So this master filter is either on or off. So you can adjust the cutoff, the resonance, and also the type of filter. So low pass 6, high pass 24, peaks, phasers, notch filters. I've opened up Fruity EQ2 to show you the different sorts of filters. So a low pass 12 would be a little bit like this. It's letting the low frequencies through, but it's a fairly gentle curve. So as you move to the left, this is pretty much what's happening to your sound. If I had a low pass 24, it would be similar to this, but it would just be a little bit more steep and it would be cutting away frequencies a little bit more dramatically. And let's just take a listen to them. So if I have a gentle low pass, it's not very dramatic. If I do a low pass 24, it's definitely a more noticeable effect. And you can turn this filter on and off. The next block is delay. This is based on Fruity Delay 3. So you've got your mix, so no delay, or a lot of delay. So if I put it somewhere in the middle, you can adjust the delay time. And you can adjust the feedback. So to the left will be almost a no decays, maybe just 1 or 2 delays as it dies away. The higher you make this value, the more delays you will get. Just like this. So you've got the color, so you can make the delays a little bit brighter or darker. So that's darker, cutting some high end out. This is brighter, cutting the low end out. And then you can modulate that delay as well. You can hear it affecting the pitch and whatnots. You can also choose different delay modes. So you've got fake stereo, true stereo, ping pong, custom. Experiment with those, see what's right for your sound. The next block is reverb, so simulating a real space. If I adjust the mix, you get more or less reverb. I can adjust the decay time. Let's make it super long. Really sort of lush. I can change the size of the reverb as well, so larger or smaller, just depending on what suits you. Again, the color is just like the delay here, so brighter or darker, and again, you can modulate that reverb. The next block is your limiter, so this serves kind of 2 functions. One is making sure your sound is loud enough, and the other is distorting it and coloring it. So you can push into the limiter a little bit harder. So the more you push into this limiter, the more crushed and compressed and limited your sound will be. And you can adjust the mix so you can get some parallel compression going. And the different options on the limiter here let you adjust the sort of profile. So if you had maybe like an 808, you might want to throw some distortion on that, push it up the mix, and you can get like a really distorted, gritty 808 sound. And the final box is the output. So this is just adjusting the level that's going to go back to FL Studio. I've found that almost all of the patches are very loud. So if you're new to this, it wouldn't hurt to sort of bring it down a little bit and because as you start stacking up more of these, your mixer might start clipping. So just be aware of that. So the last thing I wanted to show was that down here, I mentioned that there was show panel locks. So there's all of the boxes here, or almost all of them, have a little lock here. And this means that say you're working on a bass patch and you adjust the filter envelopes and the volume and attack and hold and decay until it's perfect, but you want to try different sounds, you can lock it so that when you go to a different preset, say I change to bass pizzicato, this box here has stayed locked. It hasn't moved and reset for the patch. This was a pretty clever little addition they put in, because sometimes, you get a reverb just perfect and then you want it to be the same on the next patch. So that's a really nice little addition there. So that should be pretty much everything you need to get going with this plugin. I really enjoy it. I like a lot of the presets. I might make a video soon with some of my favorite presets where I maybe break down like 20 or 30 of my favorite ones and why. There's just too many to show you all in one video, but this should have given you everything you need to get experimenting with it and really just start making some awesome music. So thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. If you're new here, I have loads of FL Studio videos. I have a whole playlist dedicated to it. So I'll see you around. Bye for now.